I've honestly admitted since day one that I've done land acknowledgements. Kerry-Lynne, if you were at the last debate, you would have heard me say that.
You're lucky I wasn't.
The reality is, to conduct business in this province or to participate in institutions in this province, the reality was we sat in meetings and did land acknowledgements. We sat around the room and we talked about white privilege, because that is the regime that the Liberal United Caroline Elliott Party created for all of us to do. You slammed social conservative views as, I quote, abhorrent. The NDP has endorsed your position on SOGI and safe supply. And you said, and I quote, Canada has a racist past. David Eby's, he's both endorsed you and commended you for backing out of the last debate. How do you feel about being David Eby's choice?
You should really stop getting your information from NDP press releases, is how I would answer that question.
So you deny that? You deny you said those things?
Never.
You deny you called social conservative views abhorrent?
So social conservative views,
will have a clip
Christian values have an absolute place in this party. I will always defend that. I welcome social conservatives, Christian values into this party. I truly do. And I think, in fact, there's a great deal of alignment between those values and conservative values. I'll defend that any day of the week.
There'll be about good conservative values. And I do want to go back to which social conservative values do you find, quote, abhorrent, Kerry-Lynne? And if you could just speak specifically, you called them abhorrent. You were specifically speaking about a couple of MLAs. What of their values do you find abhorrent? And it's okay if you've changed your mind. It's okay to change your mind. That's wisdom. But what did you consider abhorrent then?
So I will repeat that probably the best source of information is not NDP press releases. It's not spliced videos of me clearly wearing two different outfits jammed into one, pretending that I said something that I didn't. I have been absolutely crystal clear that Christian values belong in this Conservative Party. I would welcome them. I would embrace them. I would grow this party, and that is what this is all about, by the way, everyone. It is about keeping this party together, not institutionalizing divides that will cost us a majority government.
Thank you. Ms. Elliott.
Mr. Fulmer.
Surprise, surprise.
Everyone's first job is a real stepping stone in their career. It's the first step they take to go on and build a brighter future for themselves, getting that essential work experience. We are in a youth unemployment crisis. BC youth want to work. I was speaking with a man last night. He said he posted 25 positions for seasonal work in the restaurant sector. He got 500 applications because our youth want to work. He's a good employer. So my question for you is, with your temporary foreign workers in your restaurants, either you're selling out youth to make a buck, or your working conditions are so bad that youth don't want to work there.
Well, if that was a multiple choice question, I pick answer C, not A or B. I got my start in the drive-through of an A&W. I didn't have an illustrious career that started in politics or that started in university. I started in the drive-through of an A&W. Hi, my name is Yuri. Welcome to A&W. What can I get for you today? Do you want fries with that? Let me answer. Yes, 93.5% of our employees are Canadians. They're Canadians because they deserve those jobs. There are places we just can't find people.
Ms. Findlay?
You keep responding to this issue over Christian values and what is abhorrent to you by saying that these are NDP talking points. I've seen the video myself. You were on a public channel, on video, in public, saying that Laurie Thronus's beliefs, Christian values, and him not believing in gender ideology were personally abhorrent to you.
Thank you, Ms. Findlay.
Again, I encourage you to not look to videos made up of multiple different conversations put into one. And I would say to you
Tell
this,
the truth.
The absurdity of telling someone who was raised Catholic, went to Catholic school, went to church every Sunday, that I somehow find Christian values abhorrent is ludicrous. Ludicrous.
All right, the evidence is there, so speak the truth.
Thank you.
Views. Do you think it's a problem that Andrew Wilkinson didn't come out more strong, potentially, against them, and that they are running? Some people are having a problem with that.
Well, Andrew Wilkinson's response was that those kinds of views are not representative of the BC Liberal Party, and certainly just from a personal perspective, I mean, I find them abhorrent. But I do know that those views I don't see reflected in any of the candidates I know, in any of the party members that I know. So I think from a political perspective, I think it may have some impact on some of the younger voters and the urban voters, but I think more from a less political standpoint and just a personal standpoint, it's not a view that I could support.
Why did you not want to actually go directly into an election?
I will never apologize for giving the 42,000 members of this party who signed up to choose the next leader who takes us into the next election. I will never apologize for saying they deserve that right. And by the way, when it comes to the next election, you don't say to the public, hey, vote for us now, we'll pick your premier later. That's not how it works. It's a terrible idea. And I was the only one who stood up when it was hard.
Very concerned that it shows to me a complete lack of faith in our interim leader, Trevor Halford, and in caucus to have gone in and won that election. Because I think 4 of the 5 of us on this stage believe we would have won that election in a slam dunk under Trevor's leadership. And if Trevor won, we would have lined up behind him. And I don't give a rat's behind about a leadership contest. I give a rat's behind about beating the NDP. And we would have stood behind Trevor.
I'm curious if there's a question.
I inflected at the end.
I hope this isn't eating up my time, but I'm genuinely wondering what the question is.
Why you weren't prepared to stand behind Trevor caucus
Okay.
and go in and win an election, and why you wouldn't have supported Trevor's leadership when he won, why you wouldn't have supported him as premier, and why you would have sought to unseat him as premier by winning some leadership contest.
Oh, okay. So now I see. I have every confidence in Trevor. He's been an incredible interim leader. Can I get a round of applause for Trevor? Thank you, Trevor. You're incredible. You're doing an amazing job, and it's never been about that. It is about been depriving our... You just said you were going to install a premier. I don't suggest Trevor's saying this. I'm suggesting you're saying you were going to install a premier and deprive the 42,000 members of this vote. Did your 15,000 members sign up for that? Oh, I get a chance. Okay. So I just want to go back to something that we talked about earlier, because Yuri, when I asked him about depriving our youth of jobs, he said, yeah, I mean, I was an A&W and it was so great. It was this huge career builder for me, and I was out there taking orders in the drive-thru. That's all really good. Why are you depriving youth of that very same opportunity by hiring temporary foreign workers to make a buck? It's not right. Our youth want to work in British Columbia. Tell us why.
I think I did, but I'll happily repeat it. There are places in British Columbia where it is hard to find people. 93.6% of my A&W workforce are Canadians, permanent residents, people here, just like me, I was, and I understand you might have had an entry-level job at some point back in your past. That is who we are. We hire people who are local unless there is absolutely no alternative. We all want to hire our friends, our neighbors, our customers. It just makes sense.
That's 30 seconds.
My question is for Caroline Elliott. I just saw another of your endless videos, 250,000 on Meta last month, saying we should hire British Columbians first. I guess your campaign team is excluded. I have a BC team. I refuse to let boys from back east dictate to us in BC how to run BC. There's plenty of talent right here. Why are you against hiring British Columbians to run your campaign?
I am so proud to have the talented team I have made up of incredible British Columbians and incredible top talent from all around the country. And you know what? You know who else brings in help from other provinces? The NDP. And you know what they do when they do that? They win. We better change our mindset into building winning teams if we have any hope of forming government in the next election.
All right.
I guess I'm struggling just with the sidebar comment made by Kerry-Lynne about me being in the corporate sector and declaring that she's the only one with the tenacity or experience to actually get DRIPA repealed. With respect, there's many of us on this platform who have experience in leadership positions who've actually led something, and I'm struggling with your frame of reference to actually say that you could do that when you've never been in the position of responsibility.
Leadership is what you do when you're in charge. If you are leading a multi-million-dollar business association and you have nothing to say as DRIPA is coming down the pipe, that's a problem because your job is to advocate for business interests and you're not doing that. When major court decisions are coming down that are the predecessors to the Cowichan decision and you have nothing to say, that's a big problem. We need someone with the courage to stand up without a multi-million-dollar organization behind you, out there on a limb saying, this isn't right, changing the dial in the conversation. We need more of that. That's leadership.
You described safe supply as part of recovery as a wonderful thing. Can you elaborate and explain those comments in light of what you just said?
Yeah, I think, again, using NDP press releases as your source of information is questionable because that's where you got that from. And what I would say is I have been an absolutely consistent advocate for making sure that we have a program focused on treatment, a program focused on recovery. I have long opposed unsupervised safe supply that gets traded in the second they have a chance for more potent illegal drugs. It's not working. It was never going to work.
So what BC United has called for is two things. One, any safe supply must be under clinical supervision so that you can't just take the drugs and resell them for more potent stuff. There is a role for safe supply. It can stabilize folks. It can help manage their cravings. It can help them transition to treatment. Of course it does. I'm saying that, Mo. Help them manage their cravings, help them transition to treatment, and help them ultimately get well. That's a wonderful thing.
Right.